Hey guys, what's up? iPenguinPat here, and today we're going to talk about Forge's most convoluted event yet. That's right, the St. Patrick's Day event of 2021. Meow, if you missed this event from last year, you didn't miss out on anything, because this event stinks. One of the worst parts of this event is that if you don't know what you're doing going in, and you start spending pots of gold on the wrong things, you can end up making it extraordinarily hard, if not completely impossible, to get the fully upgraded event main prize. So before you dive into this event and start doing it by yourself, please watch this video or MooingCat's video or FOE hints or read a write-up or something, but do not tackle this event by yourself, because there is a very high possibility that you will miss out by making mistakes along the way. So I'm going to share with you some of the mistakes that I made and how to make sure that you get the fully upgraded grand prize. Now let's look at the prizes, because they're alright. I'm not super excited, but they're alright. Now this event does not have daily prizes as we have come to know and love. We are stuck with two main ways of getting prizes. The first is our standard grand prize system that we see in every event, and these grand prizes are collected by completing 25 tasks in each town. So I will show you how that works in a moment, but as you can see here, it's a pretty standard lineup of pieces. There is the Sentinel Outpost, which is nice to get. The Sentinel Outpost upgrade is on grand prize 15, which is going to be quite difficult to get, and if you're doing a Wishing Well world, it is a lot of work to get to the 6 grand prizes to get the Wishing Well. So I don't even know that it's worth the time and effort to try to get that, but it is there. You can get a whopping 1 Wishing Well and maybe 2 Wishing Wells from this event if you really push yourself. Now the end of stage rewards are the other place where you get prizes, and these come from when you complete a town. You have the option of opening these 6 chests. Here down the left side, you can see what the different prizes are, and I have a chart that shows you the different things that you can get in the chest, but they're not spectacular, they're not terrible, they are what they are. If you open all 6 of the chests, then you automatically get a selection kit for the new building. So that's one of the main incentives to go ahead and opening all 6 chests. Meow, there is a strategy for how many times you open all 6 chests versus just skipping out on opening the chest, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But for Meow, let's just know that that's another place where you get prizes. Meow, let's look at the new building. The Druid Temple is not 4x3. In fact, the Druid Temple is 5x4. So if you are in charge of editing the wiki, please go ahead and update this on the event page, because that is mistaken. The first time I was recording this video, I actually had to stop and double check because I had remembered the correct size. And then when I saw that, I started thinking, wow, this piece is ridiculously awesome. But it turns out that the piece is 5x4. So here you can look, this is the level 10. And we see our standard increase on how much defense for attacking army you get as you age up. And at max age, it gives 28 per for the prize, which is pretty good. It's better than the Olympic Treasury. Your forge points or goods or metals or supplies are random, kind of like the Crow's Nest. It's in that way, it's quite similar. So this puts you at, I don't know, I guess it's about 25, or excuse me, not 25. It's about, 12 and a half roughly for forge points per day on average. That's just kind of a ballpark. The population on this is decent. It's not awesome, but it's pretty good. So we'll go to my spreadsheet of madness to see how it stacks up with the competition. And here you can see this is sorted on an attack per square basis, including the road, or factoring the road in. And I have 2 squares of road because in theory this piece will be connected on the short side of 4 squares. So 2 of those squares are going to be shared with one item and 2 will be shared with another item. So that's where I come up with that number. I'll do a whole thing on this spreadsheet later. Anyhow, it stacks up pretty well. It is a little bit better than the Olympic Treasury in that it has a little bit higher attack per square, and it does give a little bit more forge point per square, which is also nice. Oh, it looks like it comes out to 10 forge points per square. I had actually already done the math on it. So, or not 10 forge points per square, rather 10 forge points per collection per day on average. So I would say that this is a good piece. It's better than the Olympic Treasury, no question about it. It is a little bit lackluster in the sense that it is going to be 13 or 14 months newer than the Olympic Treasury, and it's only 2% better. I kind of feel like it hasn't kept up with power creep. It's a little bit lackluster from a growth standpoint, but if we're not comparing and we're just looking at it in isolation, it is a good piece, and I definitely will be trying to make room for this one in my city. All right, Meow, let's look at the event and what we're doing. So the premise of this St. Patrick's Day event is you have these different factories that produce goods and they collect over here. And then you have a ship that takes them over to the festival, which is this guy here. And then you take them from there to the festival to the people who are partying and having a good time, and that's up here. So to start with, you don't have managers who collect these things for you, whether it's with the factories or the ship or the festival, and you have to spend these pots of gold in order to automate this process. And you definitely want to automate this process. This is not something that can be practically done manually. One thing I will say is that when this event was first introduced, I thought it was going to require a lot of babysitting, and it really doesn't. You don't have to watch continuously and upgrade every single second that you can upgrade. Most of the time you just set it and come back a little bit later and knock out your upgrades. Okay, so here is the manager, just so you can kind of see what it looks like. The first, just adding a manager makes it so that you automatically collect the stuff out of your factories or automatically collect from your ship. And then each upgrade from there changes the production, whether it's increasing the amount of production or increasing how quickly the stuff produces. Again, there is a very specific strategy for how you upgrade these managers, and I will show you a spectacular spreadsheet in a moment that can help you to plan on what to do with this. So the next part to know about, one other thing. So there was a misconception that I had with this, and that a lot of people have with this, where the thought that there is a balancing act between your factory production and your ship production and your festival production. And that is completely incorrect. At the end of the day, you are going to be producing way more stuff from your factory than your ship or your festival is going to be able to utilize. So I don't even try to worry about balancing these different things. I personally just focus on making sure I get through the task in the most efficient way possible to make sure that I don't get stuck having to wait a long time to complete a task because I bottlenecked myself in some place. Okay, so let's look at the task real quick just for the sake of what we're dealing with here. All right, let's see. Come on. Should have already had this on. Okay, so here's a list of what the tasks look like. I've got a spreadsheet coming in a minute, but the general things are hire a manager, upgrade one of your factories to a certain level, collect a certain amount of shamrocks, and so on and so on. A couple of the big ones that you really want to watch for are these ones where it says upgrade your building 50 times. Now, I made the mistake of, as soon as I saw this upgrade your building 50 times, just upgrading my building 50 times, you spend shamrocks and it upgrades and you see it's going up. Now, the problem with doing that is if you upgrade your buildings too early, as you upgrade them, the cost to upgrade goes up. And if you don't efficiently group your upgrades, you can end up having to spend a lot more shamrocks to complete your task than necessary, and that can really bottleneck your timing. So anytime you see this upgrade a building X number of times, rather than just immediately upgrading, wait until you have another quest or task that requires you to upgrade. So here you see I have a quest to upgrade my flower factory. So now I'm doing 2 quests at the same time, and that's going to be better for you. So I'm going to go ahead and collect in there. So I guess there's some little, as you progress daily things, but that's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so here you see I've got this transport X number of goods. Meow. There's you want to recognize that sometimes you just have to wait for these, and if this is taking too long, you might have to go ahead and upgrade this over here. Meow, another thing to know about is this max button, and what the max button does, it doesn't actually max out the amount that you can upgrade. What it does is it immediately takes you to the first multiplier. I told you, this event is convoluted. There's so many things to know about it. And I have a really angry German Shepherd. So with each of these factories and the ship and the festival, there are cutovers where you get a significant increase in the production. So here when I hit max, this cutover is at 10. These cutovers are at 25. And then here there's another one at 50. Frankly, where the cutovers really aren't super important to know because you'll end up running into them either way. But here you see I did that upgrade. It got me to 2x, and then I'll go ahead and do it again just for the sake of showing, and there it got me to 4x. And now that's going to speed up how quickly we get through this task. The reality is I would have already gone through this and done this if I was trying to complete this, but for this demo, I'm not actually trying to show you how to do the total town. I'm really kind of wanting to show you some of the pitfalls. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and get this one upgraded so we can get a few more quests through here. All right, see here you've got your upgrade your factory manager. Now this is one of the keys to making sure that you get through this well. You never want to upgrade your manager further than you have to. If you upgrade your manager past what is necessary, you will not have the amount of pots of gold needed to get the level 10 grand prize, the level 10 Druid Temple. You will run out of pots of gold before you get there. So see, we go ahead and got that quest. Now keep on moving. And then upgraded building 50 times. It's a good time to go ahead and we'll hit that one there, hit that one there, and oh, I don't see, I'm out. Probably should upgrade over here too. So sometimes you have to recognize that I got to upgrade this in order to have the currency. And you can see how quickly the cost increases. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the spreadsheet now that we've spent a little bit of time here and explain some of the ways to make sure that you get your level 10 Druid Temple and what some of the dangers and pitfalls are for this event. Meow, here's MooingCat's spreadsheet of madness for the St. Patrick's Day event. And if you want a copy of this, just FYI, you can click File and then do the download, and then you can download here. Or you can also say make a copy if you use Google Sheets. So it's very easy to be able to use this and whatnot. I'm not going to get into all the details about how to use this because he has that in his video and I don't want to steal his thunder. So please check out his video if you want to learn how to use this because it is a brilliant piece of work. The one thing that I do want to use from this is the different strategies that can be used to get the fully upgraded Druid Temple. Now, there's one way that is wildly different from the remaining ones. The first method is to open 6 chests at every possibility that you get. Now, one thing that is extremely important to remember is that you must have at least 1,900 pots of gold ready to go before you finish the town and move on to the next town, or you will not have enough to open all 6 chests And that is one of those things that could cause you to have to use a different strategy if you accidentally complete your town before you have enough pots of gold. Now, these remaining strategies all work off of the same general premise. The difference is where you're spending your pots of gold and how many towns you go through. And what I mean by that is on all of these ones, we're going to do 33 tasks on the first town and 32 tasks on the following 2 towns. But on these ones over here, more on the left side, you'll be opening 6 chests, whereas on these ones over here on the right side, you will not be opening chests at all. And that's all it is. You're just shifting around where you're spending your pots of gold to decide how many times you go through the town. The more chests you open, the less times you go through your town. And keep in mind that that also gives you a bit of an idea on pacing for how quickly you need to be going through towns and for how quickly you should be finishing towns and whatnot. Again, it is very important to make sure that you budget your pots of gold wisely, or you will miss out on getting what you're looking for. Now, the other thing to look at here is how far to upgrade your managers. If you're using this strategy A method, you only do upgrades to the shipyard on the second town, because as you can see here, that is a major bottleneck. And if you don't do that, then you cannot progress in the town. Whereas with all of these other ones, you have a specific point that you should upgrade your managers to and then stop there. I see no reason not to just go ahead and upgrade each of these to their max, to the level that they are supposed to be for that town right away, as long as you have the pots to do so, because that will speed up how quickly you get through all of the tasks. Keeping in mind that there is also a point where you may hit a pot bottleneck, a pots of gold bottleneck, that keeps you from being able to move on to the next town anyway. So there's only so much rushing that is necessary. And the next thing is you definitely want to make sure to keep an eye on the upcoming task. So when you see these tasks like this upgrade 50, you don't want to spend that upgrade 50 unless you're also working on other tasks at the same time. So in this case, I would be looking at maybe doing this upgrade 50 with this upgrade 50 flower 50 time and upgrade hat 50 time. That way you make sure that you are getting the most out of the shamrocks that you earn. The absolute last thing you want to have happen is for you to come up to this upgrade 50 down, or upgrade 100, for example. You don't want to get to an upgrade 100 and find out that everything you have is so dang expensive to upgrade, it's going to take you forever to get enough shamrocks to do that many upgrades. Also, one thing that I really appreciate that MooingCat did was pointed out about how many hours you should expect to take in your town. Here you can see that for this method you will take longer in your town, whereas for these methods you will be churning and burning your towns extremely quickly. Now, this is a much more relaxed pace. These ones here, those ones, you're not having to manage your town as much, and basically you are kind of in a set it and forget it mode a lot of times while you're just waiting for those shamrocks to get collected. Whereas in these towns over here, especially this one where you're trying to get through 17 towns, you really have to bust some hump to get through that fast. You really have to be on point and doing all of your upgrades and all of that stuff on a regular basis and managing on a regular basis, or you will not get through everything. And again, you can base which method you want to go through on how much time you have and how much you enjoy managing your cities. I personally don't particularly enjoy this event, so I will likely be here somewhere in this range where it's taking a pretty good amount of time to go through. Meow, one thing I will point out is for this one in particular, Group G, you can actually, what is this? No town. Weird. You can actually get the an extra Sentinel outpost from your grand prizes, it will take you all the way to right here. Actually, it takes you to here officially. So that gives you a guaranteed Sentinel outpost, whereas with an extra Sentinel outpost. Whereas if you do the chest, you only have a small chance of getting the Sentinel outpost. So it's kind of a risk management tool. You just have to decide what your preference is. This method, you can be certain of what prizes you're getting, whereas this method, you will not have as much control over what you're getting, but the rewards could actually be much better for you. All right, well, my German Shepherd is angry because this event is a gigantic pain in the butt, so I'm going to let you guys go. If you found this video helpful at all, please like and subscribe. I'm going to put links to MooingCat's spreadsheet and to his video in my description so that you can check his out as well, because it's awesome. I'll catch you later, guys.